Disclaimer.
If the internet shut down tomorrow, what do you do? Would probably have to look for a job. Start a porn delivery service, business would be boomin'. Underrated comment: almost all business now depends on the internet, including payment networks, infrastructure, etc. Step 1. Make some phone calls. Step 2. Open a new form of blockbuster. People are going to want their movies and shows that they can't stream anymore. Step 3. Profit. I have experience working for Blockbuster, please hire me. Come to Portland and work at Movie Madness. You lost me at Portland. Maine or Oregon? It matters. It's not Maine. But then you have to live in Portland. Alright, Gramps, calm down. Yo, I ain't that old, ha. Blockbuster closed a lot later in Mexico than it did in the US. Plus, I can still work even if I have to use my walking cane to move, helps me best those damn youngsters and their tiki-toki videos. I'm sorry, Abuelo, you're gonna have to get back to the nursing home. You're scaring the children. Don't worry, I'll be there too, with my collection of VHS tapes from Hollywood Video. I was gonna fight back, but the VHS collection convinced me otherwise. I'ma bring the N64, pizza and the Mountain Dew. Same. I still have dreams that I'm working there. And still remember my member ID from entering it so many times. I would 100% back this idea. Internet failing is very broad. If it is websites, your plan works. If all forms of network activity, your plan fails immediately. Cell phones are nope, most landlines have changed away from copper wire to VoIP, so no phone lines. I was laughing when I saw how many people don't understand phones. Just to get in early, have you got the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie? I feel like renting it overnight and then not rewinding it or returning it for at least 2 weeks. Then say you want a refund because you didn't watch it due to your pet goldfish dying. Probably see improvement in my mental health. Probably see improvement in my internet bills. Unlikely, they'll just make it 10x harder to cancel your now non-existent service and add on extortionate cancellation fees. Okay, I'm still not gonna pay. They can't send me to collections if it's filed electronically. And how would they be able to access my file to prove I owe them? Yeah, what they gonna do? Shut off my internet? Yeah, so make sure you pay it. Even if it's not and they do hire a collector, you can just tell the collector that you're not being provided internet by that company and hang up. If they try to garnish your wages, you can either sue or talk to the Department of Labor or both. Especially since you have proof of no service. It's fraud to charge someone for a service that isn't being provided, which is a felony. There's some technicalities and nuance in there, but you get my drift. Now explain this for Pokemon Go users since Niantic updated their TOS stating that if they cancel an in-person event, we won't be compensated or refunded anymore. How does that work? Technically, there are grounds for recourse there, but the idea that you'd be able, as an individual, to get any compensation is probably absurd. I do agree that you should be refunded or compensated for the cancellation of an event, but without a serious class action lawsuit, that boat is dead in the water. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I have knowledge about these Pokemon Go Live events. If they're a paid event, then you're technically entitled to a refund in the event of a cancellation or a significant change in the event, like a change of place or of the content of the event. So if you went to see Shia LaBeouf's TED Talk, let's say, and Shia was pulled from the event, you'd be entitled to a refund. Or if the event was moved to another location, regardless of distance from the original location, you'd also be entitled to a refund. That's how it works with most ticketed events. There's a lot more to this though. There's this little tidbit in the TOS. Section 13 Dispute Resolution contains a binding arbitration agreement and class action waiver that affect your legal rights. If you are a user in the European Economic Area, EEA, or any other country that does not allow such arbitration agreement, Section 13 does not apply to you. But that does not absolve them of any legal recourse even if you did agree to the TOS. If you could get enough people together to go seek out a lawyer, then they might tell you that you have grounds to start a class action lawsuit. There's a lot of research that needs to be done on who to contact, and the arbitration would be lengthy if you and the group of disgruntled peeps/the law office decided to proceed with a class action lawsuit. You should know that Niantic could suspend or delete your account for such action. Due to a large amount of calls coming in at this time, you have been redirected to an automated service. The only way you're able to cancel is on our website. Please go to thisisascam.com to cancel your service, otherwise we will charge $450 a month plus usage. It appears you've used more internet service since it shut down than ever before. If this wasn't you, please go to whatareyougonna-do-about-it.com to clear this up, otherwise it's an extra $230 on your bill per month. We provide you with means by which to access the internet. Although the internet itself is not there, by providing a working router we are still fulfilling our provision of the service. As such, the contract cannot be cancelled under the current terms and conditions, therefore the contract must continue to your agreed termination date. Have a great day. Not if you are in contract. I had no access to internet for 2 weeks my ISP due to a damaged line. They still tried to bill me for a month. Threatened to take it to trading standards, they gave me a free month instead. Honest question, if you're saying it's that bad for your mental health, why not just get off it now? Internet addiction is a real thing and we almost all have it, sadly. Definitely true. People don't realize that it's almost impossible to quit the internet. It's so integrated in our everyday lives that disconnecting is impossible, especially when you live in a city. To be fair, that's like saying we have an electricity addiction or a temperature control addiction. Sure, both are theoretically possible, but can you really engage in most societies without them? We're addicted. Same way people who smoke know it's bad but can't just get off it. I am a child of the 80s, I trained for this. Same here. We had a life before internet and no problem going back to it. I still enjoy offline activities more. My kids would be fucked though. I'd have a fucking ball, truth be told. I'm honestly not fussed. All that saved money on tech gadgetry goes to a massive bookshelf and I start reading big time. Probably even get decent finally at guitar. Go back to reading the backs of shampoo bottles while pooping. Methylchlorothiazolinone, methylisothiazolinone, sodium xylonesylphenate. This is fun. Oh, I wonder what these do. I'll just Google it. Shitter books are such a dead genre now. Instead, I have a suction cup cell phone holder stuck to the wall in front of my toilet. I'd never entrust my phone's life to anything that uses suction. Except my wife, maybe. Load my weapons and batten down the hatches because people are about to lose their shit. I hear they still got loads of internet out California way. It was a lie, California has it in limited amounts as well. Load up the covered wagons and pack plenty of soap. We don't want dysentery. Had to scroll way too far to find someone who understands that the internet is more than social media sites, apps. Honestly. This would be a national security crisis, not a chance to walk your dog. There would be no card payments. How do you buy food, gas, medicine? Landlines run over the internet where I live, so no basic telephones. Communication as we know it would be gone. Would ATMs even work anymore? Things would get really ugly, really fast. Nothing would work. Some major infrastructure have backups, but for the most part our entire way of life is run through the internet. We'd be fucked if it was out longer than 3 or 5 days. Moan. I am 20 and the internet is all I have known. I would be so annoyed, frustrated, depressed all at the same time, but I do think with time my mental health would improve and I would start doing the things I actually want to do. I am 50 and miss my internet-free life quite often. Tech and the internet have done a number on my ability to focus, productivity, social interactions. But I also lack the willpower to simply shut it off. You should read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and Atomic Habits by James Clear. Meditations can seriously change your life if you dedicate yourself to it. You're capable of anything. Hunker down for the next 48 hours. Stay away from public places and try to avoid being killed over a can of soup as the panic spreads. If it comes back on, immediately start using the brief calm to stockpile as much as I can, as within a week the cost of living will skyrocket as companies try to bleed people dry to recoup their losses and pay for the new redundancy systems they are putting into place. If it doesn't come back on after 48 hours, well, kiss your ass goodbye. This is the correct answer. I don't think people realize how much literally almost everything that we interact with on a daily basis is enmeshed with the internet. There would be no normal commerce. The power grid would possibly fail. The water systems are tied into it as well. Cell phones would be worthless. Even remaining landlines would probably not function properly. Communication would grind to a halt. It would potentially bring the collapse of civilization. It's not, "Ah shit, I can't watch Mr. Beast anymore." It's, "Ah shit, I'm running out of ammo. Jimmy's got an infected scratch on his arm and we may lose him. The last men are coming for our last store of potatoes." You can also watch other videos by going to the channel. I will be pleased if you like them.